we're going to take a look at reviewing and editing the Superelevation XML preference file. So prior to creating Superelevation, it's important to understand how OpenRoads Designer will be calculating Superelevation. There are many tables, rates, and equations that can be adjusted to handle almost any Superelevation design. All the tables, rates, and equations required to calculate Superelevation are contained in what we call the Superelevation XML preference file, or the Superelevation rules file. Now we deliver to Superelevation XML preferences file with the product. Both of those are based on the AASHTO 2011 design standards, and we use these files once again to determine our Superelevation transitions and the calculations. You may want to review the preferences ahead of time before you go and perform the Superelevation calculations. So by default, OpenRoads Designer is set up to calculate Superelevation based on the AASHTO 2011, as I mentioned previously. But since the XML file is fully customizable, you can also set up your own calculations within inside of the file. So let's begin. Let's take a look at how we can set this up. So here I am inside of OpenRoads Designer. What I want to do is I want to set my proper workspace and my work set. So I want to go up to Training and Examples, select Training and Examples as my workspace, and then for my work set I'm going to be using Training Imperial. Now I already have a Superelevation file created, so I'm going to come over here to Using and Defining Superelevation, and I want to grab my Super SR97 file here. So click Open, and we're going to be creating all of our Superelevation information in this particular file. Once again, this is a 2D file, and it already has the geometry attached as a reference file. So now our drawing's open, you can see here's all of our geometry, and the geometry that we're going to be creating Superelevation for is this mainline alignment here for the State Route 97 extension. And again, this geometry is attached as a reference file. So you can see here, here's my geometry file, and it's attached as a reference file. So we need to have that in order to create Superelevation. So now before we go and actually create the Superelevation, let's take a look at this XML preferences file that I mentioned previously. So I want to go up to Corridors. I'm going to go over to my Superelevation panel here, and I'm going to go under Calculate, and you'll see there's a Edit Superelevation Rule File button here, so I'm going to select that option. And it's going to bring up the dialog box for the Create and Edit Superelevation XML Rules file. So this is used to create an XML rules file as well as edit an existing XML rules file. So I already have an existing file that I want to take a look at, so I'm going to go over here and load that up. So I'm going to go up to File, I'm going to open up this AASHTO 2011 Imperial file, and it's going to load some things into my dialog box here. So you can see the units here are set for US survey feet, and we have some precision adjustment settings here for station routing and cross slope percentage, and we also have some default Superelevation preferences here as well. So what we're going to do is just go through and adjust some of these settings. You can see there's various categories over here on the left, different things you can adjust, your rate equations, your transition equations, your transition options, your curve adjustments, custom key stations, as well as runtime variables. So all these different things we can adjust within inside of the rules file. So the ones we're going to take a look at are just adjusting the station rounding. So what I'm going to do is just go in here, and I want the stations to be rounded at the nearest 5 foot. So I'm going to adjust that to 5. Then for our equations, we're just going to leave the rate equation set for AASHTO method 5, and transition equation set for AASHTO. Transition option for the transition type, we want to set this for linear, and then also the percent on tangent, we want this to be 2/3, which is approximately 0.67. So we're just going to key that in there. And there's some other adjustments here that you can make depending on the type of Superelevation design that you need. Now once you have your desired settings, then what you want to do is save these settings. They get saved back to our AASHTO 2011 XML file. So I'm going to just come over here and press the Save button, or I'm going to go to File and Save, and then I want to close. It's going to prompt you to save before closing. We're just going to click on Yes and Save and Continue.